Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? Welcome to Gaming Gumbo, Ready Check Radio's weekly gaming wrap-up. It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means we're live, twitch.tv/Ready Check Radio, RAIDEO. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, head on over to the website. Why don't you? Do it right now. We'll wait. ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO. In the upper right-hand corner, we've got all the socials there. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Click subscribe, follow. Do all that cool stuff. Turn on notifications. Tell your friends if you like what we do here, whether it's this show, whether it's the Relic Grind, or any of our streams, where I'm streaming Final Fantasy TCG or any of the other streamers. Yeah, if you like it, do it. It's the best way, easiest way, and cheapest way for you to say, hey, we like what you do. Keep doing it. We've got a lot to talk about today. Joining me to do it, as always, Mr. Jason Winter. What's up, sir?
Well, you asked what's up. Oh, you had to do it.
I had to. Pre-show. See, like, chat gets it. But you, if you're watching the show, you might not. So you should probably hang out live sometime with us.
But actually, now that I think of it, I'm actually doing kind of bad. My toe still hurts. I hit it.
You
really
stubbed
hard
it like hell yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. It's a little less purple. I'm walking on it a little better, but I'll live.
I'm
doing terrible.
I hope
Absolutely
so. At least for the next 45 to 50, something like that. Yeah,
I'm not planning to walk on the next 45 to 50.
Well, I hope you live for that period of time. That's all I need.
If not, pre-show knows people that were ready for pre-show know that I've received last rites. So.
You have received last rites. Also on the line, resident Ready Check Radio artist Yod. What's up, sir?
Oh, all right. After that conversation we just had.
Have you stubbed your toe?
I have not stubbed my toe. I have not had last rites, and I did not burst into flames during graduation at my college.
That is all good things. All good things.
Oh, and I have a friend.
You do. Now we've got the Mr. Bigglesworth impressions going on again. Okay, so before we start, we were obviously off last week. Final Fantasy TCG, the trading card game, was Opus 14 pre-release. The set came out yesterday. I tore through a bunch of boxes and sorting today, but I'll be opening some more boxes on my live stream here Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Monday night is when I do FFTCGs. I'm losing track of my days. But since it has been 2 weeks, we spent some time last week talking about Blizzard and all the shit going on over there. If you want our opinions on all of those topics, go watch the last Gaming Gumbo on ReadyCheckRadio.com. Opinion-wise, gentlemen, I don't think any of us have changed our minds or come to any new conclusions, correct? We're still of the mind that things are just shitty and that they need to be fixed, right?
You go ahead and talk about that stuff. I'm having a drink.
Hey, if nobody has any opinions on it, here, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown over the last 2 weeks of the additional items that have happened, and that's it. First, we had the Cosby Room pictures come out, which did feature some notable faces from Blizzard's past that they then had to explain on their Twitter feeds. Bobby Kotick issued a bullshit statement. It was total garbage. Brought in a third-party law firm that's known for union-busting work. P.S. Ian Hazzakostas used to work for that law firm as the third party that was going to help them sort things out. Activision is apparently facing a class action lawsuit now against from stakeholders who feel like, hey, over the course of the last X quarters, those filings that you're supposed to let us know if you're in any legal trouble, you can't really just say, nah, we're just the typical legal trouble when you knew an investigation like this that would impact stock prices, or reasonably assume would impact stock prices, was coming. J. Allen Brack left the company. Told you that was just going to be a matter of time. I thought that was more a spacing thing than an if thing. So did the senior VP of Human Resources. There was a financial call where, they made a boatload of money. Obviously, the time period is before all this stuff was announced. We'll see what the next financial statement shows knowing that they did have some stock dips here and there, and we'll see, boycotts, things like that. There was an employee walkout. They flatly rejected this third-party law firm that Bobby Kotick tried to put in place, and their demands still have yet to be met. Fran Townsend, the resident defender of torture that works for Blizzard, deleted her Twitter like a big baby because, when you start blocking employees because you have the audacity to tweet about the problems with whistleblowing in the midst of all of this, employees are going to have something to say. And so she took the, strong stand by your convictions side and went ahead and deleted her Twitter. She also stepped down from Activision Blizzard's Women's Network, the thing she was so proud in the email to the employees for heading up. And on your front, Jason, the Overwatch League has lost 6 sponsors so far, with a couple more small ones maybe on their way out. That number could change in the next couple of days or two, but as far as major sponsors, 6 already out of the game.
6-ish, because it's some of them are like suspending, or maybe they're here, maybe they're not, but they're definitely not on the broadcast like now.
Yep. There you go. You're all caught up. If you want our opinions, go watch the last episode of Gaming Gumbo that we put up. Let's move on to some other fun stuff this week. Well, fun, I mean, if you were actually waiting for any of these games, maybe it's not fun. Because, Jason, you were right. You were right on quite a few of these. And we'll see if you're right on some more. We'll see if you're right on some more. Because
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, yeah. A lot of games slipping now out of 2021 into 2022. And I know, Yad, the one that probably breaks your heart the most was probably, I think, on the list the most recently announced, too. And that is Evil Dead slipping into 2022. But
they're
on the
adding a
plus
solo
side,
play.
Yeah,
So
they're adding a solo mode.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing, Mystics. it may have slipped to the next year, but with a solo play that they're adding in, it looks like they're doing it for a good reason. Because they want to make it a better game, which is always an acceptable reason to delay a game.
And putting a solo mode in what everybody saw immediately as a, multiplayer Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, that type of genre game. I think putting a solo mode in there is going to be a little interesting. Now, I hope, I don't know what you do with a solo mode in this game, Jason, knowing that it is like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. Now, they said that the co-op PvP game will have a single-player option that will let you enjoy the game when you are without your co-op compadres. I hope they don't just mean like a solo queuing mode, right? I mean, you would assume that was already in there. But in this type of game, what does a solo mode even look like, do you think?
I mean, they're keeping in line with the franchise. I mean, it was just Ash, basically, for the most part, going out all by himself with his chainsaw. So,
Yeah.
I hope
but
it's
maybe
not
it is
bots. Ugh.
bots, or maybe they just boost up your stats so that you're as good as 4 people or whatever, I guess.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I thought it was I would think that it's either you get bot buddies or you just get it's easier for you to take things down.
The Mystic says horde mode. I could see that.
I thought it was a horde mode.
I could see that.
The entire game was horde mode.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I know, but it's in Left 4 Dead style, moving on and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Remember, this is going to be for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Now, it isn't delayed all that far. It's delayed into February. So,
Which, it's just a few months.
That makes the perfect Valentine's Day gift.
It does.
Like, if you...
if you were stays together.
Yeah, if you were wondering what to get a spouse, a partner, whatever you got there for Valentine's Day, might I recommend Evil Dead, the video game? It will be out.
As long as you don't take their head off.
Yeah. It will be out. Now, this one did not slip into 2022, but I did want to get your opinions. New World late this week, announced that they are backing their launch up a little over a month. shooting it to the end of September. It was supposed to launch later this month in August. Just finished the beta test. I gave some initial opinions on it, but tried to stay clear of a full yes or no, I like this, until I can not do the same thing 7 times. So what did you think, Jason? Like they're saying, hey, look, we're not adding anything, because that was some people's concern on Twitter. We're not adding anything at this point. There are just a few things based on your beta feedback that we want to polish or wrap up a little bit better than we have now, and we think a month will do that for you. This is a game that was delayed twice last year and then delayed into this year, and now this close to launch, getting delayed one more time, albeit only a little over a month or so, but still another delay. What did you think? Good news, bad news, right decision, wrong decision?
I think it's the right decision, and I have to default to Zach though for something amazing. He said that it was actually a beta. They actually were testing things and reacted to the feedback. It wasn't just a marketing exercise.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
maybe it actually was. It could have been. Who knew that was still a thing?
Yeah, and it's funny to
Actual
see that
betas?
and from Amazon too.
Right?
from Amazon Games.
You know, they've blown $500 million. What's another $3 million?
Right.
I guess so.
Maybe they'll actually put some thought and design into the UI before launch.
Oh, you didn't like the UI?
No, I thought it was shit.
Leave it to the artist to be like, this game is great, but the UI. I hate what didn't you like about it?
It was like just a bunch of boxes. I mean, there's no design to it.
That's all you need.
No, I mean, even Final Fantasy
Put some
14,
boxes in.
even though it's all bars and stuff like that, it's got some flair. It's got, the arrows and the map and stuff all have flair to it. It's got a style. UI is very important.
Yeah, I'm kind of with the odd here.
No, I
Can't just have boxes.
I
That's like me
absolutely agree.
That's like me with my little font in the Chinese games or whatever that.
Oh,
I use.
you hate that font.
Oh, I do.
That font is terrible.
Yeah,
I
and
know what
it's-
font he's talking
yeah.
about.
You hate that font. Every time. I can't do the first look on this one, Mike. You're going to have to take it. Why? It's got that font. Jason,
might
it's
be
your
a little
type of
more-
game. Don't care. It's got that font.
Got the font.
It's got
I might be a little more opinionated this show because I've been drinking, obviously.
We get funny odd.
Hey,
another
Blizzard makes me
delay.
drink.
This one may be a little bigger, obviously, than Evil Dead, although there are its fans, including everybody on this panel. Horizon Forbidden West, now also slipping to 2022. So PlayStation's big kind of wrapping up the year marquee first exclusive title. Yeah, that's not going to come out this year either. That one, I got to say, this one I'm kind of surprised about seeing that it's being delayed, because I haven't heard anything but like on target stuff all the way up till, and then all of a sudden delayed. But Jason, you are the one not surprised by any of these. So
No, not even at all. This is one I'm actually delighted by because I'm still playing through the first one, so this can take as long as it needs.
yeah, I guess so. I've already I beat the first one a long time ago, so
I waited till I got it for free on PlayStation a few months.
Yeah, yeah, you did. Of course, they're blaming COVID-19 as well. COVID-19
really? I
has
didn't even
caused
see the
production
article.
challenges, forcing developers to work
No.
from home for months, but the pandemic has also provided a cover for developers to bump games. So, reporting Bloomberg, Jason
that's
Schreier kind of giving them the business in his
Thank
article, saying, yeah, maybe it's COVID, maybe it's, Maybelline. I don't know.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I don't think that's the way they want to run their next ad.
They could though, and
Yeah.
it'd be funny.
That look in your face. What is it? Maybe it's COVID. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't think. I don't think that's the
I don't
way
think
to
Maybelline wants to run those ads either.
go. Mystic saying
Oh.
COVID-19, the dog ate my homework of 2020,
Yes,
21.
yes,
Absolutely.
Look, in 2020 it was
Absolutely.
valid. I can go with it in 2020. I'm not buying it when
I
In
totally
Yeah,
June,
agree.
you
Fracor is
said it's
saying
gonna be
allowing
up this
COVID as
year.
an excuse to delay is good, though, better than releasing early, like Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, which I actually did an interview with them. I don't have the questions back yet, Fracor, but for MMOBomb.com. There's a Bless Unleashed one you should go read, though. when I get it back, one of the questions on there was it really wise to launch with as little content in there as you have, even though you do have a schedule? So keep your eye on MMO Bomb whenever that comes back. I'll let you know, because that was one of my questions to them as a PSO2 fan. Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West, and I don't think we have any. We just have first quarter, so January, February, March, somewhere in there.
Right.
So everybody kind of.
Which,
Here we go again,
yeah.
Jason. Remember how crowded February and March of 2020 was supposed to be, and then everybody bailed on that window. That was the original Cyberpunk window, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Cyberpunk.
It was.
Yeah.
Final
It
Fantasy.
Hey, we managed to
Everything else.
jam Cyberpunk
Yeah.
into the show.
Yeah, we did.
It's been a while.
It has been.
It has.
I feel
Think we're-
like it needed a little. Ubisoft, a game we've talked about here, possibly doing a 3-man co-op stream, being a little bit interested in some of it. Rainbow Six Extraction, Forspoken, Elden Ring, and Horizon, all in the first quarter. Yeah, well, depends on who you talk to, because Jason thinks at least 2 of those are probably going to be delayed. Ubisoft delaying Rainbow Six Extraction and Riders Republic. Rainbow Six Extraction by 4 months, and Riders Republic by a little under 2. So now we're going to see Rainbow Six Extraction in January of this year, and Riders Republic is still going to be this year. It's just pushed back into October, and it was supposed to come out at the beginning of September. So Extraction is the one. Rainbow Six Extraction, out of this one into next year. I think they were just trying to get away from Aliens Fireteam Elite, which looks like
That could be
an identical game, except they have the Alien IP.
Yeah,
I admit that when you talk about Rainbow Six Extraction, my first thought was, oh, that's the game where you have the no, wait, that's the Aliens game. I got them mixed up.
That's the virus one, not the aliens one,
Okay.
which we were gonna play.
Yeah,
At some
people do
point.
want us to play Aliens Fireteam, by the way, so we'll have to look into
Yes.
People can buy me a damn copy.
that.
Whoever these people are.
Diablo Immortal. Not going to spend too much time on this one, it being Blizz. We used to have a show for that, and maybe we will at some point. But just to put it in here for you, that is being delayed until 2022 as well, if you were looking for some mobile Diablo-esque gameplay.
I mean, we all have phones, right?
Yeah.
Apparently. So now the list looks like this, gentlemen. We've got here, and this is from FossBites.com, the list of major titles that have been delayed now into 2022. Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Stray, Rainbow Six Extraction, Hogwarts Legacy, Skull and Bones.
Now, that was not quite 2022.
Yeah, we
It's
talked
just-
about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That shit ain't ever coming out, but it has to. That's the best part of that story. Gran Turismo 7, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, Warhammer 40k Darktide, Gotham Knights, Ghostwire Tokyo, and a slew of smaller titles as well. Jason, what do you got to say? I mean, your predictions are proving true here, and a lot of shit getting bounced into 2022.
I think it's just a case of looking at how they want to market. They want to make that big splash at E3, and everyone's like, "Oh, our game's come out in October. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome." And the guys actually making it are like, "Wait, what?" Programmers back at the company are like, "Wait, October?
I didn't agree to that date.
We've got like 18 milestones left to hit. What are you talking about?" So yeah, it's just marketing talking ahead of actual people who do things, which again kind of sounds like Activision Blizzard, but that's another thing. All right.
That is another thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yod, unhappy about some of these? What are you looking forward to that now you got to wait on?
I wanted to play Stray. That looked like a lot of fun. Obviously Rainbow Six, because we wanted to do that on stream. Evil Dead, obviously. The rest of it, it'll come out when it comes out.
Yeah, I got to be honest, like looking at the list, I was like, there were some that I was like, Wow, was that really supposed to come out this year? I didn't know that. Like, had you not announced
Yeah,
a
Stray is like that for me.
yeah, had
Yeah.
you not announced a delay, I wouldn't have known. Like, there was something like Hogwarts Legacy. I'm just not a Harry Potter guy, so I'm not
Yeah, me
watching
neither.
that. Skull and Bones, I would have laughed
And
at.
of course, Skull and Bones. I'll be surprised if it comes out in
It was
2023.
announced in 2017. We saw it at
Right.
E3 2018. It was due out in 2020.
Right?
It's not, it's not good. I like how the Frostbites does say with a possible release window in 2022 or even 2023.
Exactly.
The thing is, my strategy now is I don't even pay attention to release dates that are unless something I'm really looking forward to. If they say the release date is like at least like 3, 4, 5 months away, I don't pay attention to it. I'll pay attention when it's like 3 weeks away and they're finally giving the exact date and doing videos or whatever for it. I don't pay
Oh,
attention to something 4
Fraycore,
or
I'm
5
so
months
sorry,
out.
sir. By you saying that, maybe you haven't seen. So, Fraycore says, games looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise. Cool. Final Fantasy 16, which I'm pretty sure we'll see next year too. And Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert has halted development.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's see what's going on with Crimson Desert.
Yeah. So
The Googles.
they have yeah. I did not mix my titles up here. I'm right. Crimson Desert release delayed indefinitely for new ideas. Pearl Abyss developer.
New ideas.
Yeah.
They just ran out of
It's Pearl Abyss, man. Pearl Abyss, developer of
Still.
Crimson Desert, announced an indefinite delay to the open world game via Twitter. Here it is. Their exact
We just
tweet
ran out of
for
ideas,
you.
guys. We can't keep making the game.
I'm glad I remembered that this was. I was like, when you guys were like, I didn't hear about that. I was like, shit. Did I just misremember the game? No, I got it right.
Nope.
Here was their tweet, of course, which was just a PNG with text on it.
Mhm.
Since Crimson Desert's gameplay trailer reveal last year, the response we received from the community has been a huge source of encouragement for our team. We'd like to thank you for the amazing support and enthusiasm you've shown for our reveal. We are currently hard at work developing Crimson Desert, which is rapidly evolving with new adventures and exciting experiences. However, we have decided that we need to dedicate more time to adding new ideas for an even deeper, more enriching game. Therefore, in order to create the best possible experience, all the while ensuring the health and safety of everyone involved in delivering the game, we have decided to delay Crimson Desert's release. We will provide an updated schedule at some time in the future. Thank you for your ongoing support. We wish you and your loved ones the best of health, and we'll keep working hard so that we can meet all of you soon in Piewell. So, Jason, you didn't know about that news. I'm just hitting you
No.
with it now. What are your thoughts?
Reading that and seeing them say, when I laughed at the whole ideas thing, they said they needed more time to add to ideas for an even deeper, more enriching game. I think to myself, what we've seen of that, and what we've seen are some really, really attractive looking trailers, very good looking characters, the beautiful
We've made fun
landscapes.
of Jon Snow.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at all that, and I'm like, wow, that's really beautiful. I wonder if there's a game to go with it.
Yeah,
apparently
and
there
Pearl
wasn't.
Abyss does kind of have a little bit of a track record of announcing a lot very early and then almost being in like a development hell for a while, Yod, trying to make all these different things that they announced work and come out.
Yeah.
I remember Black Desert being a real pain in the ass to actually get to
Oh, yeah.
market.
Yeah.
Market. And Fraycore says, I feel like that means they're going to try to figure out how to make it more multiplayer than originally planned. And I think you might be right. I think you might be
Maybe.
right. But that's not, I don't think it's just that. I think it's like somebody's like, we want to make this more multiplayer. Well, you know what? I'd really like this type of crafting system. Well, I just think it's one of those things, and Pearl Abyss kind of unfortunately does this. Everybody's ideas stick to the wall, and then they got to try and figure out a way to make it work. And then they get a delay, and a delay, and a delay.
It almost feels like they lost a lead. Like one of their lead developers or writers or
Right.
something left, and they got a new guy, and the new guy's like, "Well, I want to do this instead." Kind of like Skull and Bones.
When's Vampire the Masquerade coming out?
Oh, I know. We have not even
Headlines.
remotely heard an
Oh.
update on that one
Oof.
since they ousted the director and the writer.
The entire
Right?
team wasn't,
Yeah.
wasn't it the
And
entire
then
studio?
Yeah, it was
now
the
it's
entire lead
switching.
team, I
Yeah,
think.
now it's switching
Yeah.
teams. So, that's one I'm waiting for. But I get a little less hopeful for it as we fail to hear anything about it. Tarkoth saying God of War Ragnarok. Okay, well, you already know that one's pushed to next year. 16, which, yeah. Elden Ring,
Yep.
January, and Forspoken. Yeah, so pretty much the same list there. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know, Ninja. Do we have a direct release date for Halo Infinite? I thought it was just a.
It's
November,
it's like
I think.
November, I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, it was supposedly leaked on some other thing.
Right. It was one of the voice actors said something about having to clear their schedule because they got hired on for Halo Infinite, which was due to release in November, so he had to really quickly do work or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Don't
I think,
quote me on that.
it's exact confirmation. The only thing I think I ever heard was like holiday 2021.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right.
basically November. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there was no date that I missed. It's still
You're
that
right, you're
time
right.
period.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
okay, cool.
It's
So,
that
yeah.
area of the year.
Yeah. Speaking of new games, 2K Games had its earnings report call. Many companies are right now. Square Enix did theirs. Activision Blizzard did theirs. We mentioned that earlier.
Have I got you calling it Activision?
Seriously, I've done this before. But
'Cause I keep typing it
and
as
hey, surprise! They made a shit ton of money, but not all the money. So they're going to be coming for more. So the bigger surprise here is that they're working on a title that we're maybe going to hear about this month. So this is from Take-Two president Karl Slatoff. After covering previously announced titles like NBA 2K22, WWE 2K 2022, and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Slatoff talked a little bit about a new project by saying, in addition, later this month, 2K will unveil details of another exciting new franchise planned for launch during this fiscal year. That's a little slippery, by the way, gang. If you don't know finances, their fiscal year ends in March, okay? So that doesn't mean it has to come out in 2021 to make that a true statement. They could be looking at the wonderful January, February, March time slot. No word from the company on what studio is doing it, what the title is, what it may be, but we'll release sometime between now and March 31st of this year, and we're supposed to hear a little bit later about it, a little bit more about it later this month. All right, Jason, so that new franchise, obviously we can knock off all their annual titles. We can take Grand Theft Auto out of the franchise under the 2K umbrella through Rockstar and Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that. We don't know what studio even under 2K is doing this. Give me a blind guess. A blind guess.
My blind guess is a fantasy RPG.
Gonna go generic fantasy RPG.
It won't be generic. It'll be spectacular in some way, shape, or form. But I just look at them. They have so many shooter titles. Shooters and sports are like mostly everything under their umbrella. Along with some simulation stuff, like they have Civilization and Kerbal and whatever. But I'd like to see them go in a different, at least in a somewhat different direction. They don't seem to have anything really in fantasy, so that's where I want them to go. Hardcore fantasy.
So single player, multiplayer?
Single player.
Single player. So you want them to do like an FF16, except from 2K
Skyrim
games.
or whatever.
So who under 2K games do you want to do that?
I don't know. They have 8,000 studios. Rockstar can do it. Who cares?
I think if
I don't know.
Rockstar was doing it, we would have
we're
heard
Rockstar,
by
yeah.
now, I think.
Although, to be honest, the fact that it is a something that's going to be basically revealed and come out in the next like 8-9 months makes me worry there's going to be some sort of mobile game. Sort of quick little mobile game.
I mean, he does not specifically say any platforms or anything like that.
Right.
You
Which
know?
means it's always mobile.
So the fantasy RPG is I like it to be that, but the mobile cash shop thing is what it probably will be.
Yeah, Ninja Panda says Battle Royale.
I'm trying to steer away from that. I'm gonna hope they realize that's not the.
I hope so. Yod, what do you got? What are your guesses?
I'm gonna say Olympics. They're gonna try to cash in on that.
Oh, they're gonna be way over by then, though. By the
Are
time the
they?
game comes out.
Except the Winter Olympics start next year.
Yeah, but that's a
Exactly.
whole year away at that point.
That's That's still before the end of the fiscal year.
It is. It is.
No, but the Olympic
They're-
Games aren't. Well, I guess if
Winter
they have them on
Olympics-
But
time,
they're
yeah.
gonna-
I guess if they have them on
They're
time,
gonna
they'll
lead
start
into it
end
with
of
the end
February.
of the
Yeah.
Summer Olympics. Pull that into the
Yeah,
Winter Olympics.
2022.
That said,
All Olympics new franchise because it's sports, and they can do multiplayer, and they can have a cash shop with uniforms and players.
Well, that's assuming if they have them on time.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are the Winter Olympics supposed to be held in 2022? I don't
Ah.
remember.
No idea. No idea.
I love the Olympics. I really do. I absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the
China,
Olympics.
Beijing.
But yeah,
Beijing?
I have a feeling that's
No.
going to be delayed.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Beijing. I have a feeling that's probably going to be delayed. The world not
No,
doing so hot with this whole COVID thing.
But the states the state says there's no COVID in China.
Oh, well then it's fine. Yeah,
Right?
then it's fine. They also compared video gaming to opium addiction this past week too.
Nice lead in.
Yeah, sending their own 10-cent stock, 10-cent company stock tumbling, NetEase tumbling, and leaving other companies in the lurch. Jason, we talked about that on MMO Bomb. Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just keep trying. They
Opium.
keep trying to fight
Opium.
capitalism. I
Jason,
guess.
now you got me excited. I want it to be an RPG too now.
There you go.
I really do. I love the Olympics. I hate Olympic video games. They're always
Yeah.
just dumb.
Mhm.
You know, they're just
Except the old track and field arcade game.
There was track and field.
2K developing Skull and Bones with Ubisoft. Get the hell out of here. They need somebody to help them. They need somebody to help them.
Oh my god.
Well, I
They-
like Olympic Sim. It could be just like out of the park. It'd be like my baseball game. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, that might actually be interesting, where you're like
It would be
grooming an
interesting, like,
entire
2K
country's Olympic team.
2K wouldn't be doing it. Though.
No, they
No,
definitely
no.
wouldn't. That is way too boring for them. But I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, that might be a kind of a neat game.
That sounds
Yeah,
like a
that's an
paradox
interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like
an interesting
between
concept.
world conquest of your nation, you also run the Olympics.
Like doing all the different financials on like how much you want to invest in different training facilities. Like
How many
that could
steroids
be
you want to pump into your athletes?
exactly. Take over Mother Russia and put 0 in training facilities. Dump it all in human growth hormone.
And threatening families.
Well,
I
and
mean,
then
they do sim games. They do Civilization. That's under the 2K.
yeah, you're right. It's not going to be that, but it'd be cool.
It's totally gonna be this now.
Yeah. Oh my God! If it is, Jason, if it is, you get a half an hour of the show after that to just gloat
it's-
about anything you want to
No,
gloat
we
about.
get Freakor does. Justin does.
Justin does.
He
Okay.
does.
Okay. So this is getting a little bit sketchy now, gang.
I know.
We've been reporting on the Legend of Zelda that sold at auction. Then we reported on its record being crushed a few days later by Super Mario 64 selling at auction. Now we have a Super Mario Brothers sealed, rated at a 9.8, selling for $2 million. Now, we should put a little disclaimer on this. We talked about this one before. We talked about this cartridge.
Okay.
This is the one way back when that sold for a few $100,000, right? Do you remember this? This was one of the first ones
Yes.
we talked about, okay?
Right.
Rally, the organization that bought it, and a bunch of people added money to the pool, to the kitty to buy it. They bought the Super Mario game for $140,000 in April of 2020. An investor shot down an initial $300,000 offer for it last year. The $2 million offer from an anonymous buyer, a collector who is making big bets in the video game space, won the approval of 3/4 of the game's investors and bought it. I'm hearing a little bit of echo probably from Yod, your headset or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Ed Converse, a graduate law student from Green Bay, Wisconsin, was part of the team. He invested $100 in the game last year and is netting $950 from the sale for $2 million. So this one, I wouldn't say this sets any records. This isn't like obviously it's ridiculous that you're spending $2 million on this, but this wasn't like through like a heritage auction or anything like that. This was a private buyer making an offer kind of deal here. But $2 million, what are you seeing in this market that doesn't scream bubble for video game investment, video game collecting, card game collecting, like Final Fantasy and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And even Magic the Gathering, like all of the Do you know how hard it is right now actually to get a stupid binder? It is ridiculously hard to get like just a Dragonhide, Legion binder and stuff like that. It is ridiculous. Like I saw one for 200 in the color I wanted because that's it. You can't get it right now. This is such a huge bubble. I mean, investing in a museum, there's better ways to do it than spend $2 million on just this Mario cartridge.
So you're telling me I should be going to Office Depot, buying 3-ring binders, and doing custom covers?
There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad idea, actually. Card binders. I mean, you go to your local game store. They're having a hard time right now, a really hard time. They're getting screwed from every angle. Distribution is shanking their orders in half, sometimes in a quarter, but charging more for the product. You know those? What is it? BCW, Jason? Is that one of the companies? The big storage company?
I know, ACW maybe. I don't remember. That sounds familiar. I know what you're talking about.
Is it BCW? Yeah, BCW. They make cardboard boxes, right, for your cards.
Mm-hmm.
Those 5-row boxes typically sold for like $3 or $4 at your local card shop. Well, they stopped selling them to the shops for a little while, or at least cut the orders dramatically and started putting them up on Amazon themselves because they were getting harder for people to get and more people wanted them. They're $20 on Amazon.
Yep.
$20 for a 5-row cardboard box. Now they're going back into the local stores and they're charging more for them now. Like, come on, gang. It's a freaking bubble. Don't buy Mario at $2 million. Even if you want to open a museum, there's better exhibits you can get for $2 million. But I know what Jason's...
They want that Mario cartridge.
I know what Jason's going to be playing. Jason, tell everybody about your Louis Vuitton game.
I was amazed from this to see that Louis Vuitton actually was, first of all, a real person, and that he was born 200 years ago. That was what I got.
You just thought it was like a brand name?
I mean, I sort of thought. I guess I figured it had to be a person, but nobody was around that long ago. That surprises me. Like fashion actually lasts that long, I guess.
And now they want to get into gaming.
No, they want to get into NFTs.
Yeah, hey, but they're not for sale. They're not for sale.
Nope. I don't understand. I don't.
What's going on?
So Louis Vuitton, the very popular, very famous French fashion line, has launched a video game app featuring 30 non-fungible tokens, 10 of which are by the pioneering digital artist Mike Winkelmann, professionally known as Beeple.
What a dumb
So
name.
if you want a game with NFTs by Beeple, you can get this game apparently, but you can't buy the NFTs. By the way, speaking of money, Beeple it says his work every day is the first 5,000 days. Sold for a record 69 million in March at Christie's. Why is this guy even bothering with a video game? Unless it's going to make him another 69 million.
Right? Unreal.
Oh.
This is going to be mobile schlock, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be. It's already got 1 star. It's not even out yet, probably, but it's probably only got 1 star.
Wow.
Oh.
Strangely though, it's not the first time we've talked about Louis Vuitton on our podcast.
It is
Because they
not.
did a League of Legends clothing, which was like
Yep.
$600 for a handbag or whatever it was.
Yep. All right,
Holy
gentlemen, I know you have been waiting for this topic.
I got the stuff.
Go get the stuff. Audience.
It's right here. All right.
This topic, I talked about a few weeks ago, just letting you know that we had it in the background, and it was on the show notes and kept getting bumped because we were running out of time, and I try to keep the shows 1 hour. We're finally going to get to it. Back on July 9th, a month ago, Looper.com wrote an article where they ranked every mainline Zelda game from the worst to the best. I'm a huge Zelda nut. If I turn my camera around, you're going to see the box art real big on the walls behind there, along with Final Fantasy and all that stuff. But huge Zelda nut. very, very close game to my heart. Makes me think of my dad. That's a story for a stream. Remind me, and I'll tell you about it. But I know you gentlemen are Zelda fans as well, to varying degrees, you know. But
The wife more than myself.
yeah,
yes.
to varying degrees. But I put this list on the show, and I was like, all right, do you agree with this list? Let's crap on, exactly, Sticks. Let's crap on Looper's choices here. Now, to qualify it, they're saying, you know, hey, no spin-offs. This list does not include spin-offs. So pretend for a moment that, like, the freshly pickled Tingles Rosy Rupee Land doesn't exist. This is just the mainline games. And they put at number 17, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. So they're saying, out of all the mainline Zelda games, that one's the worst. That one is the worst. Triforce Heroes. I don't think it is. Triforce Heroes is a bit of a unique little oddity, but I don't think it's the worst. That it's more puzzles than anything, but it's not the worst, is it?
I mean, something
I
has to
gotta
be the worst.
I mean, yeah,
Remind
I guess.
myself which one that is.
I guess something has to be the worst.
Yeah, something's got to go there. I mean,
They put at number 16 right above it, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
Okay, this is what I have the props for.
Okay.
So we talk cyberpunk nowadays. We talk
Yeah.
delays and so
Yeah,
forth.
yeah,
What a huge
yeah.
deal cyberpunk was. For 14-year-old Jason, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link was his cyberpunk.
Okay. That was
the game I was
can't
looking forward to. Everybody was looking forward to that. Looking forward to it so much. Here is, by the way, the first issue of Nintendo Power magazine.
There it is.
Here it is.
I
I've got
have
the
that guy
bookmark in here.
too.
Mhm.
You got a little post-it note in there. What's that for?
Yeah, well, because it says right down here, there's a little note in the Pack Watch section. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. The latest word on Zelda 2, because even at this point, because there had been a magazine before, it's like the Fun Club magazine, they've been teasing the Zelda 2 coming out,
Yeah.
talking about it then too. It says here, the latest word on Zelda 2 is it will definitely be available in stores by October. Definitely available by October. Zelda's waiting for you to awaken her from the sleeping spell that cast upon her. Hang on, Zelda. It won't be long now. Your nightmare will soon be over. Link. Zelda 2 in October.
Yeah.
Here's Nintendo Power number 2. And let me look here. And it
Also
says,
got bookmarks.
Yeah.
Some research
said-
going into this segment that we put off for a month.
Right?
You can see here. It's a link letter. Maybe you can read that.
Yeah, I
there's
see
a
it.
link
Dear
letter.
Zelda.
Yes, dear Zelda, I'm here in Kyoto with my programmer, Mr. Miyamoto, and I'm afraid I have some bad news to tell you. Are you sitting down? That's right, you're lying down.
Womp womp.
Wow.
Anyway, they tell me I will not be able to begin my journey until the new year. So that is not October.
Game delayed. Yeah.
It has something to do with computer chips or something. I know we hope to spend the holidays together, but I'm sure you can hold on a little bit longer. I miss you desperately. Yours forever, Link.
All right. Delays happen.
Okay,
Even
okay,
then,
yeah,
delays
yeah.
happen.
Here's the third issue of Nintendo Power.
Track and field too.
Oh,
Actually, notice this one here. This one got like censored or banned or something because
Yeah.
how gory the cover was.
Yep.
Castlevania 2. Anyway, to the third issue. Coming up in the January-February issue of Nintendo Power. Look, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
Okay. Yeah, that jives with what the letter said last month.
The moment you've waited so patiently for has finally arrived. Check out the awesome fold-out poster that details Link's most challenging and complex adventure yet.
All right, so that jives. Yeah. All right.
So the
January,
fourth issue of
February. Here
Nintendo
it comes.
Power. You know what that has?
Zelda 2.
Yeah, actually, it actually has it.
Yeah.
It finally did it. There it is.
Whoa.
So yeah, this was delayed a little bit too, and it was the big deal. And let's see if I can actually find that article. Yeah, here we go. Here's the map, the fold-out map, in fact. If I can fold it out.
I love flipping through those old magazines sometimes.
There we go. Woohoo.
I love flipping
I
through
mean-
them, and more than anything, like the articles are good and stuff, but I like looking at the ads, Jason. Like
Oh,
you
yeah,
look
the
at what was
ads
being
and- yeah.
advertised at the time in some of these old
The
magazines.
art
that
on
I
some of
have.
these two, Skate or Die. Look at that.
Yeah.
dude.
Oh
He's a thrasher.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, there's also the fact that back then, it's not like they could, push an update as the game's going to, Golden
Sure.
Master.
Yeah, you had to
and
make
being
sure
on
that
print.
shit was right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had to be finished right then as they send it to
And-
get printed, get produced.
And yet you still
So-
have I am error.
Yeah.
Right.
Metal Gear, like not Solid, just Metal Gear,
Yep.
Right.
It's the original. The
old
original.
school.
So Zelda 2: The
Anyway.
Adventure of Link's second worst. That game gets so much
Ah,
flack, and I
it
don't understand.
does.
Like why? I mean,
Yeah.
I get why, right? That's not a Zelda game. It's a side scroller and everything. It was the second game. There was no definition of a Zelda game yet.
Yeah.
You
Right.
had one example of a Zelda game. This was
Although
the
admittedly-
second one.
If you're gonna rate Super Mario Brothers games, wouldn't Super Mario 2 be kind of low on the list too? Because
Right,
it
but that's
wasn't
not even a
really-
Mario game.
I know. Technically,
That's
whatever.
Doki Doki Panic reskinned
It really was, wasn't
with
it?
Mario characters. Yeah, that's all it is. Zelda 2 is not the second to worst Zelda, Yod. No way.
No, but I mean, then you scroll from Zelda 2 to number 15, which is The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, how do you put the
original.
original at the third worst?
Right?
The third
How-
worst.
Ugh. That one got me. That one surprised me. That they put it at 15.
I get that maybe it's not number one now. Like there was a time
Right,
where it would have
right.
been number one for many, many, many years. But
Right?
I think even I, as a big Zelda fan, and I emotionally have attachment to the original Zelda, even I don't think I can put it at number one anymore. But they put it at 15 out of 17. They put Phantom Hourglass right above it.
I don't even know what Phantom Hourglass is.
That was a DS game, a 3DS game. It was a
Okay,
damn good
yeah.
game. Like, it's not a bad game, but it's not better than the original Zelda. That's just absolute shenanigans. Looper.com made this list.
Oh, it's Looper. What do you
They put
expect?
Four Swords Adventures at number 13. That's
Mhm.
another one like Triforce Heroes that, like, if you have a bunch of friends to play it is cool, but playing it by
Right.
yourself, it kind of just feels bad because you still have to control this team of 4 links.
Right.
So,
So,
that's how the Evil Dead game is gonna go.
would you drop that lower? Oh God.
Yeah, I would.
No, Jason. No.
I mean, I don't know where I put it on the list, but it definitely. Come on, the first
I
Zelda
mean,
goes
it-
above that.
if you have, I mean, okay, so Zelda, the Legend of Zelda games is historically a one-person single-player game.
For generally
Right.
speaking, yeah.
Generally speaking.
there are titles like the Triforce Heroes and stuff like we just talked about that
Right.
are, yeah.
Right. But in the case of you're looking at the entire legacy of this game,
Uh-huh.
which in Legend of Zelda is a single-player experience. So if the single-player experience of Four Swords Adventures is trash, wouldn't that lower its score overall?
You think?
That's what I would think.
Number 12, Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. 11, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And 10, Minish Cap.
Which one was Minish Cap? Is that another 3DS?
It's a handheld, yeah.
Okay.
I liked Minish Cap too. Like, there's none of these that I'm like, oh my god, that's just awful. But when you have to compare them to each other, Jason, there's just so much wrong with this list.
Yeah. Granted, I've only played a few of them, so I don't have the hands-on experience. But just-
Number 9, Link's
Imitation.
Awakening. Link's Awakening is an underappreciated one. Even
Mhm.
though there's a remake of it now on the Switch, it is still underappreciated. Oracle of Seasons or Ages at number 8. That was kind of a fun little experiment in the whole Pokemon Red Blue timeline, and now we have Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. It was a little later, but whatever. Number 7, Twilight Princess. Do you think Twilight Princess is better than Skyward Sword?
I mean, didn't Skyward Sword just get announced as a remake of some
Yeah.
kind?
Yeah.
So I would think that would be higher level since it's got a remake. But that might be just me.
A Link Between Worlds is number 6. Okay, this one I don't
Ugh.
understand. Did either of you ever play this one?
No, but the
No.
artwork looks like trash that just pulled up.
Yeah, nah. That
Of course, that's
artwork
what
is
you
for a
focus
very
on.
specific game feature where he can press himself against a wall and turn into like a 2D graffiti painting and move along the wall and then pop out of it.
Well, then they chose the wrong artwork for that.
So here's the thing, though. How does A Link Between Worlds... A Link Between Worlds is coming in at number 6 here.
Yeah.
That game, as good as it is, and I loved it, and I beat the hell out of it, that game is almost a copy of A Link to the Past. It is so similar to A Link to the Past with just a few different mechanics. How do you say that that's better than the original Zelda?
Although I like what it says here. It says it has a novel item management system. So if it's got good inventory, I might give that what's up.
That's all it takes for Jason. Inventory.
Mhm.
Link Between Worlds is a great game, but it is basically, it capitalizes on the nostalgia because it's newer, relatively speaking. It capitalizes on the nostalgia of all the Link to the Past fans now being adults. It definitely capitalizes on that nostalgia. 5 is the Wind Waker, which if you would have written this list 2 years after the Wind Waker came out, that would have been at the bottom of the list. Wind Waker is one of those ones that I feel is like getting more and more appreciated as time goes by, but it was quite the little controversy when it came out. For some departures from longtime Zelda norms. 4, Majora's Mask. I love Majora's Mask, Jason. There is no way it is the 4th best Zelda.
I've heard it being ranked lower than that, certainly, I haven't played it myself, but yeah.
I love it for how different it is and the storyline being very dark and very adult. But there is no way it is the 4th best Zelda. There is no way.
Top 5 though.
There, maybe, but probably not. No, there is no way that beats out Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. I don't think.
I can see that.
Just this list is nutty. And I did look because I see some in chat saying an 18-year-old must have written this list. I don't know how old the author is, but I saw a picture. He ain't 18.
Physically.
Number 3, A Link to the Past. I think now we start splitting hairs, right? A Link to the Past, I think, is definitely...
We all know what the top 3 are now.
Yeah. A Link to the Past is definitely in the top 3, top 5. Breath of the Wild is number 2, and Ocarina of Time is number 1. I am not surprised to see Ocarina of Time.
No, me neither.
Even if it's not your personal favorite, I don't think you can be surprised about. I am surprised to see Breath of the Wild at number 2. That really, I don't think, has had the time to marinate and start beating out other Zeldas like this.
I can see that.
I could see a top 5. Absolutely. It was a brilliant game. Link to the Past, that's top 5 in my book. Majora's Mask, as much as I love it, I don't think it's top 5. And Link Between Worlds just beating out the originals. That list scares me.
I can see Majora being 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think it's right in there. I think you're right. Yeah, like maybe in the 5 through 7-ish.
When conventions were a thing before, in the before time, I still saw a lot of Majora's Mask stuff around people, that were cosplaying and stuff like that. They still did those, so it's quite popular. But yeah, this list is interesting.
We waited a whole month for this.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's why I had it there. I was like looking at the list. I was like, this is nuts. What's your favorite Zelda? Let us know in the comments below. Before we go over to the game of the week, Yod, let's go to Yod's TV corner. What do you got for us?
All right. So they announced on Netflix a Witcher animated movie. Does not have Geralt in it. Geralt. Geralt. Sorry. Been drinking. Sorry. My L's and my R's go totally crazy when I start drinking. But it features his master, his teacher. I'm not that up in the lore, so I'm not sure if it takes place during or before the Witcher series.
It's before.
Live action.
It's way before.
Even I know based on how old he is. It's definitely before.
See, I wasn't sure. I didn't know that much about his master, so. But it takes place before, I guess, and it follows his adventures and him, I guess, learning, being more than a sellsword to actually invest his emotions into a quest. So it looks kind of cool. The animation it looks like it might be off the same people that did the Castlevania group, the Castlevania animations, and it comes out later this month. So I guess we can talk about it after watching it.
Sounds good. Let's head over and do our. Go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say I saw a headline. I think a while back on Kotaku said, "Oh no, Vesemir is young and sexy now."
Let's go do games of the week. Jason, this is our last segment. I ask you to give us a game of the week. Yod will give us one. I'll give you one.
Yeah.
You let us know in the comments on YouTube or on Ready Check Radio who gave the best game of the week recommendation. Remember, there's no limitations to this. It could be a game they're playing right now. It could be a game we played years ago, a game we've already recommended before because we jumped back into it. Doesn't really matter. You let us know who gave the best recommendation. Jason, you're up first.
So several years ago, a streamer I follow was streaming L.A. Noire, which is the classic. It's by Rockstar. It's a game where you play as a LA police officer in the early 50s. You have to go solve crimes. You got to investigate. You got to like look through everything and figure out the clues of order. Of course, it has that classic doubt option when you're choosing to believe someone you're interrogating or whatnot. He actually played it again. Like he started over about a month ago, so I was watching it then again, him going through it again. But I got it because he played it all those years ago. And it was a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for. It's by Rockstar. It has basically the GTA engines. There's still gunplay and driving and so forth, but definitely is a cool kind of cerebral sort of game too. If you want to have a little mystery solving to go in with your gunplay.
Yeah, and if you want to know about the development behind it, go check out an episode of What Happened by Matt McMuscles on that and on LA Noire. Jason, you would love that. You would love that video. I'm going to give one that probably won't win, but that's fine. It's Final Fantasy TCG Opus 14 Weekend. I can't recommend anything besides Final Fantasy trading card game. Yod, go ahead.
All right, so back in the PlayStation 1 days, there was a Ghost in a Shell game, and it was a game where you actually play as a new character in the whole universe, and you're driving around in one of the spider tanks.
What, you mean it wasn't just Nexon capitalizing on that title to splash some free-to-play goodness on the world?
Correct. It was an actual game where you played a freaking Tachikoma, and you can slide around side to side, forward, backwards on the wheels and stuff like that. You had it was basically gunplay, but you played as the tank. The major talked to you, and the music was really cool as well. I can't for the life of me find the game anymore because I used to have a copy, but I don't know where it went. But it's just called Ghost in a Shell, and it was amazing.
All right. Let us know in the comments who gave. Oh, you did?
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine actually had it, and we played it a little bit. I don't know if he owned it or if we rented it or whatever, but yeah, I remember playing that.
Nice.
What'd you think about it?
I remember thinking it was like difficult to control the Tachikoma or something. There was some sort of issue with control.
The controls were a little odd because it's not your normal control setup, but the fact that you could slide around like you see in the show and stuff like that.
That's all you wanted to do. That was it.
Just drift.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let us know who made the best recommendation in the comments below. Chat, don't go anywhere. Right after the show today, we'll be going live with Torchwick streaming. What's up, sir?
Not much. What's up with you?
Nothing. Are we still in Vagrant Storyland? Is that what's going on today?
We are, as much as I don't want to be.
And did you write that Zelda list?
Well, okay. Looper paid me well. I'm not allowed to discuss anymore.
How are you enjoying Vagrant Story?
I'm not. But otherwise, no.
You don't have to play it through.
I'm stubborn enough. I'm making me do this. But I did take the liberty of looking some stuff up over the past week so that it can at least be fun to watch.
To make your life a little easier, too. Well, chat, hang tight. Torchwick will be live right after the show. Of course, we'll be live with another episode of Gaming Gumbo next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're following all of our socials so that you know when we go live with our shows or our streams, and you can come and hang out with us. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yacht Artwork on Twitter, Yacht Artwork on Facebook, and right here on Gaming Gumbo.
Jason.
On Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio so we can tweet at you every time we go live. And you can come hang out, have a great time. I mean, unless, you're not. Later.